Hey there, I'm Saving Termina, and welcome aboard to today's video. I appreciate you stopping by, and we'll be talking about our favorite blue blur. Or, well, black in this case. The Sonic franchise is no stranger to criticisms, Lord don't we know it well. Even the best of releases in this franchise receive such, though that is a boon in truth. Which is why I want to give my own critiques, few grievances, and wishes for Shadow Generations, a game I love an incredible amount. If you haven't watched my previous video, which was an analysis of the core mechanics of Shadow Generations, then I recommend it if you wish to know most of my positive thoughts on this game. Make no mistake, I adore this game. It's not just one of my favorite Sonic games in recent memory, but generally one of my favorite video games to play as of the last 5 years. So, if it seems I'm being harsh towards a game I previously stated in my last video that I love, know that it's from a place of wanting to see a fantastic thing be even greater than it is. Nothing like some tough love. Starting off with a personal gripe, which is the boosting animation. Shadow has had this style of boost since Sonic Generations, and I think then it was fine, but since Sonic Forces it looks awkward? As if Shadow himself is barely animated. Not just that, it's the lack of skating that I and so many other people take issue with. Now, no offense to my hover boost enjoyers out there, but the skating is what makes Shadow's running animation so iconic. It's synonymous with the character. I think what would have helped was if the jets in Shadow's air shoes grew in intensity while boosting, to further emphasize the power behind it. Now, I realize this is honestly more of a nitpick than a gripe, but I would really love the option to switch between hover and skate for future appearances of Shadow. I know, probably never gonna happen, but hey, I can dream. At least we have modders doing God's work. Speaking of mods, yeah, Shadow Generations has a lot of fantastic ones under its belt within less than a year. It never ceases to amaze me in how quickly modders work and provide such high quality stuff. Any and all mods you see in this video will be listed in the description box down below, so if you see one that you like and own the Steam version of Shadow Gens, go for it. Another nitpick I have is that the map in the white space kinda sucks. I mean, it's a serviceable map, and I think Shadow's icon blinking and looking around is a pretty cute touch. But I really would have liked it if it showed us which machine parts we acquired already. The parts are easily the most complained about collectible in the game, only further compounded by its lackluster reward. And the reason is because finding them can turn into such a slog by the last few. Is this a major complaint? No. I don't believe anyone would credit it as such. However, it is an annoying aspect if you aim for 100% completion, and the ability to see which you've obtained would be a blessing. Or perhaps after you collect half of them, Orbot and Cubot could give Shadow a radar to detect them? Maybe? But, alright. Enough of the nitpicks, let's get on to the more interesting bits, which would be a few grievances with the game. As I've said before, Shadow Generations is not just a wonderful game to play, but a lovely crafted and polished experience from beginning to end. Yet, like anything else, it ain't perfect. Mainly through the lens of difficulty. For years and years, Sonic games have been notoriously easy, I would say. Not just in the sense of beating the games, but achieving good rankings too. Something that made Sonic Adventure 2 stand out back in the day was the implementation of the ranking system. The fact that how you played would be judged at the end of every level, and it was brutal, man. Maybe I just suck at Sonic Adventure 2, but so many of these A ranks I had to work for. Multiple attempts at stages to the point where I really had to earn it. And that felt so good to do. Other Sonic games like Sonic Unleashed were like this too. Both Sonic and Shadow Generation suffer from very forgiving and easy ranking systems. Granted, I believe Shadow Generations in a few areas has a stricter ranking metric than Sonic Generations, but that really isn't saying a whole lot, is it? So, when going into this game for the first time, I had prayed the ranking system would actually require some mastery of these levels and not shower the player with S ranks. But alas, it basically did. Is this a major issue? Yes and no. Having a stricter ranking system is there for players who want to return to the game. People who one and done games like this usually aren't going to care much for the ranks they got. They'll reach the end credits regardless. But by giving those who want to put in the extra effort, they'll have a very fun and rewarding challenge awaiting them. And it doesn't need to be an in-game award by any means. I believe that the feeling of self-satisfaction in finally getting that well-deserved S rank after a good bit of practice goes a long way. Well, that's what I would be saying if this was the case, but, you get my point. Frankly, I wish Sonic Generations got this kind of update too. I understand if perhaps SEGA or Sonic Team don't have the resources available to alter the game's code like that due to it being on the Hedgehog Engine 1, but, well, I'm not a coder, so I'm not entirely sure. My next grievance still involves the stages, and that is, why didn't we get a hard mode version of the normal levels? Now, the answer here is time restraints and budget, probably. I realize Sonic Generations didn't have hard mode variants of the normal acts either, but it would have made Shadow Generations stand out all the more if the stages did have such a hard mode. I appreciate the harder versions of the boss fights and the more brutal challenge acts that open up in the Doom Zone. Some of these are really quite good and require a decent deal of know-how to get through them, especially with S ranks. So, hey, I'll take that. As for how hard mode versions of normal levels would even be handled, I think back to Sonic Adventure 2 and how that game tackled its hard variants of stages. For those unaware, every final mission of an act had a hard mode variant, and for the speed levels, added obstacles and enemies were thrown your way, or certain aspects were removed, such as in City Escape after the iconic rundown of the building. Normally there are these cylinders that aid in platforming over this bottomless pit, but in hard mode, these are entirely removed. So, for Shadow Generations, how would these ideas look? Well, an easy solution is more challenges based on Chaos Control itself, including enemies we see later in the game into earlier stages, such as the gun beetles with the electric shields in Space Colony Arc. This would require Chaos Spear implementation in an organic way, for a stage that you previously didn't need to use it once to clear. Basically, include latter game challenges into the earlier stages to spice them up, while with the later levels, alter progression in various ways. Now, would that admittedly be a simple way to do it? Yeah, and some may find that lazy, which I understand. The alternative would be to completely revamp the stage layout, but really at that point, people would rather see brand new locations. New locations such as DLC. Yep, bringing this up. Very original, I know, but it's true. While Shadow Generations did better than Sonic Generations did back when that game released in 2011. Oh god, 2011. Where people begged for DLC levels and instead we got a pinball machine. I mean, I like pinball, but Shadow Generations at least gave us a Sonic Movie 3 tie-in DLC level, and it's clear a lot of effort and love went into it. However, this was revealed prior to the game itself even launching. We knew about this months in advance. So we did get a DLC, but man, call me greedy, I suppose. I wish we got more. It's just bizarre to me how SEGA can land on a successful formula again, completely nail a game with once more having the title card of Generations in it, and not give more DLC for it.
More levels via DLC would have been a simple way to bring in more money. Now, I know I say simple like making levels of such high quality is an easy task. No, it isn't. Far from it. Yet, if they announced an upcoming DLC pack along with the release of the Tokyo stage, I am convinced it would have made them money. It's been more than half a year since the game was released, and during this downtime of awaiting for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, they could have released another DLC stage. This game is so widely praised and loved, people would have eaten it up. Is this easier said than done? Yes, especially as someone like myself making a silly YouTube video. Yet, I just can't help but think there was a missed opportunity here. Imagine a Flame Core level in the Shadow Generation style, or Digital Circuit from Shadow 05, Egg Fleet from Sonic Heroes, a pick that fans have been itching for so long. There's so many possibilities for DLC, and honestly, I believe SEGA moved away too quickly from Generations both times, Sonic and now Shadow 2. I understand the desire to proceed with future projects, but when they actually once again had a winning formula that the vast majority of fans loved with Shadow Generations, seeing them not capitalize on that kinda stinks. Alas, it wasn't meant to be. Even still, I like to imagine we would have gotten Black Comet in some form, and not necessarily as a DLC level. I say this because the final act of the game is a bit rushed. Don't get me wrong, the content we got is still incredibly polished and fantastic. Radical Highway Act 1 without the Doomwings is my favorite stage in the entire game, so I love what we got here. It's just, the first third of the game has 2 zones, each with 2 acts, their own challenge gates, then a boss fight. After this, we get another 2 zones, their respective challenge acts, and a boss fight. However, past this, we get 1 zone, the challenges, boss fight, then the big finale with another 2 acts and the final fight against Devil Doom. You see how it feels off? There are 3 major slices of this game's structure. The classic beginning, middle, and end. Yet it's like the last slice was cut up into 2 smaller slices, leaving it in an awkward state. Still tastes great, but you can't help but feel there was something missing compared to earlier. Obviously, it's the lack of another stage between Chaos Island and Radical Highway, which I believe, if we got such a thing, it should have been Black Comet. Some may argue Westopolis, but we sorta kinda got that with the Tokyo level. I know, not really, but if the music alone didn't sell that they wanted it to be a nod to the level, then I don't know what does. I considered if a hypothetical Black Comet should be the final level instead, being it's the home of the Black Arms. But for thematic purposes, I think not. Radical Highway being the final stage makes so much sense that I don't want that taken away from it. Even so, I believe Black Comet would have been really sick. Think of the red water-like substance which we could doom surf over, activating the wall platforms with switches via Chaos Spears, teleporting through the various laser walls because boy oh boy we should have seen this cool mechanic used more. Have a section where the ninja Black Arms send waves of clones at Shadow while platforming, so you need to balance your platforming skills while destroying the clones with Chaos Spears. Top it off with cool Chaos Control shortcuts or set pieces, and you pretty much got a winning formula. Ah well, we've entered the era where cool stage mods are beginning to arise for this game, and frankly, that excites me plenty. This community is filled with talented people, and it's them who really keep this fandom alive in the best way possible. To conclude, while I have my gripes and a handful of what-ifs for Shadow Generations, it's a game I hold dear and no doubt will continue to play for a long time, and it feels incredible to say that about this franchise again. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like, hitting up the comment section, and mayhaps even subscribing. Every little bit helps, and I appreciate all of it greatly.
Before I leave you for now, I do not know when I will return to Shadow Generations in video form, but my next plans revolve in the land of Hyrule, so I hope to see you there when I arrive. For now, I wish y'all a great day.